Alright, Movie Club, it is my review for the movie Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. This review will probably not matter in like 2 days because it's no longer on the Netflix instant stream, but screw it, I'm gonna do it anyway. I actually watched the extended version. My dad has all like the special editions of all three of the movies, so I watched an even longer version of Fellowship of the Ring. And I'll confess right now, the only Lord of the Rings movie I've seen prior to this was Return of the King. I've never seen the first two movies. And I would say for this, I have to say, for Fellowship of the Ring, it's a pretty good movie. It does have its problems, but it is still a pretty good start to the series. I think one of the best things that this movie does is that it does provide a lot of backstory for people that like aren't familiar with the folklore of Lord of the Rings. Like, you know, obviously The Hobbit followed, The Hobbit preceded The Lord of the Rings, and for those who didn't know about The Hobbit, you have this now. And, I've read The Hobbit, but it's been so long, I didn't remember a thing. And I would say, and I tried reading the Lord of the Rings books as well. I couldn't get through them. I just stopped like halfway through Fellowship, and I never bothered trying it again. Um, I'll say, and obviously the story, it's pretty good, but I'm going to get to those complaints in a minute. The acting is actually quite good as well, and obviously, they do have a pretty good cast. You have Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Christopher Lee, all sorts of these people. I think the best actor in these movies is Ian McKellen as Gandalf. I mean, he is such a fucking badass in this movie, and I don't know, he just blew me away. Uh, You shall not pass. Uh, to get to the complaints of this movie, I have two big complaints of this movie. And you might suspect the first one I have, this movie is too long. And again, I watched the extended version of this movie, so that might have had something to do with it. I'm not sure. But here's the main problem I have with length in movies. You know, you can have a really long movie, and I would have no problem with it. The thing is, in order to have a long movie and make it work, all the scenes have to be meaningful. All right, and it just seemed to me that there were a few things that you didn't necessarily need for this movie, but they threw it in there anyway. And again, I watched the extended version. That could be why. And the second real complaint that I have about this movie is that this movie just seems so repetitive. It just seemed after the beginning where you get all this backstory, you have Frodo getting the ring from Bilbo, and he starts this quest with Gandalf. It's basically action sequence, meet somebody new. Action sequence, meet somebody new. Wash, win, you know, wash, rinse, repeat, whatever. You know, and again, it just gets so boring after a while. But you know, another thing this movie really does have going for it, which really makes you keep watching, is that the visuals are amazing. Just the way it's shot, obviously, the setting of it all, it's just this peaceful, natural, rural setting. And it just, kind of, it just sucks you in the entire time. Or at least at the beginning it does. And even throughout the movie, when they're in like the forest, they're in all these different various locations, it still makes you want to keep watching it. Uh, Definitely a pretty good movie. If you have the time, give it a watch. It's about 3 hours. I saw, like I said, the extended version was like 3.5. So it does take a while, but if you do have the time, definitely give it a watch.